Do you think you know the rules of table tennis? Well, here's 5 that even experienced players can get wrong. When you throw the ball up in table tennis, it has to be at least 6 inches or 16 centimeters away from your hand. So that's roughly the width of the bat. So the ball has to go that far up and that far away from your hand. So 2 common errors I see are, firstly, that you don't throw the ball up high enough. And the second one is that if you are throwing the ball up, your hand is following the ball. So even though the ball's gone up a long way, your hand is still too close to the ball at this point, which means it's a fault. The other good visual to refer to is that 6 inches is the height of the net. So that's how high the ball has to be away from your hand when you serve. The PingSkills tip is to make sure you practice your serve correctly in training. It's all too easy to be lazy in training, and then when you come to a match situation, the umpire is suddenly calling a fault. So be mindful of your serving in training. And in training, go well above the 6 inches. There's no rule as to how high you're allowed to throw it, so throw it up a bit higher and make sure you've got plenty of clearance so you're never going to get yourself into trouble. A let serve is if you hit the ball, it bounces on your side, touches the net and goes on correctly onto your opponent's side. Now, the tricky thing is how many serves are you allowed to serve a let in a row? Well, if I serve the second one, still a let. Third one, still a let. Fourth one, still a let. In fact, you never ever lose a point for serving a let. If you can serve 20 lets in a row, it's still a let. The PingSkills tip is make sure that you wait for the umpire's call on the let, because if you stop the rally, then the umpire can award the point to your opponent. The rule is that you're not allowed to touch the table with your free hand. I've seen a lot of players move in for a short ball and lean on the table, or if the ball goes up high, balance themselves with their free hand. That's a no-no. The PingSkills tip is anything else is allowed to touch the table. You can lean on it with your elbow or even your forearm or your head if you're silly enough, but as long as you don't move the table when you're doing it. So you can't touch the table with your leg and shift the table surface. The only thing that's not allowed to touch the table is your free hand. So that means that your bat is allowed to touch the table. The volleying rule is often misunderstood. So volleying means that you're hitting the ball before it bounces on the table. Now, if the ball has come out past the line of the table and then you volley it or you hit it, it's already out of bounds on the full, my point. But if you volley the ball before it goes out past the end of the table, it's still in play. That's your point. You hit the ball on the full, if you volley it, that's always the end of the point. If it's gone past the end of the table, it's my point. If it's over the table, it's their point. The ball doesn't have to go over the top of the net to be in. You are allowed to go around the side of the net or even under the net. The best opportunity to do this shot is if they hit the ball out really wide and then you've got a clear path to the table. And the PingSkills tip is if you want to show off, this is the shot for you. If this has cleared up any rules for you, make sure you give us the thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe and comment if there's any rules that you find tricky. And if you want to clear up any confusion at all, make sure you check out our full video on the rules of table tennis.